Can I connect you?
Absolutely.
All right, here you go. Ding.
Hello.
Hey, Elias.
Hi.
Hey, Elias. This is Kyle with EXP Realty. How are you today?
I'm well.
Excellent. Hey, I see that you wanted to see 123 Main Street over in Oakland. Is that correct?
Yes.
Nice. When would you have some time to check that thing out?
Today.
Sweet. What time today? I think I have in between 2 and 4 o'clock. Would that work for you?
No, I was thinking more around between 5 and 7.
Between 5 and 7? Okay, that's cool. I'll tell you what, let me check in with the seller just to make sure those times are available, and I'll get right back to you in about an hour. While we're out there, let's carve out, let's carve out about another hour so we can check out just a few more properties that are on the marketplace. Is that something you're open to, Elias?
No.
Okay, great. When would be a better time to get out there and go check out a few more properties for you when you have some extra time, just so we can make the best use of your time?
I'll let you know.
Okay, great. All right, Elias. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me give the seller a call and follow up with you in about an hour.
Yeah, but Kyle, really quick. So we've been looking in the Laurel District. Our friends just got in a home there. They told us it was so competitive. It was like 26 offers. Is this home going to be competitive like that one?
You know what, Elias? That's a great question. Let me do my homework, and I'll bring everything there at the property when we meet at about 6 o'clock, and then we'll go over all that. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Okay, great. So like I said, I'm going to shoot you a call back in just about an hour and confirm that appointment.
Okay. All right, good, man. Awesome. I look forward to hearing from you.
Great. Thank you, Elias.
All right, good stuff, Kyle. Kyle, I always feel like I say this all the time. It's like a radio station. Good stuff. Great intro. Why did I tell Kyle no?
Because I asked a close-ended question.
Correct, right? So leaving it that way. So would you guys like to go see some homes while you're in the area? I have a 50% chance of them saying what?
Nope.
I fucking hate those odds. 50%, I don't like those odds for you, right? Here's what we're going to do. While you're in the area, I want to make the best use of your time. I'm going to set up about 3 other homes to see that are in that same area that fit the same criteria. I'm not asking, right? If they're looking at buying a home, make this an experience with you. Make this experience with Jeff Phillips. Everything else that you did in your presentation is spot on. Everything else. That is one thing that I want you to eliminate from your vernacular is that something you'd be okay with? Is that okay with you? I'm hoping you're going to say yes. Like, no, here's what we're going to do. Awesome. I'll see you there then, Jeff. Cool. I'll give you a call back in about 20 minutes. Check seller availability. And then another thing, 2 things here, Kyle. You said between 2 and 4. You don't know if 2 and 4 are available. So don't give times, just like we don't give exact stats and figures and data unless we know, right? So check first and then get back to them instead of saying 2 and 4, I can do 2 and 4. Other than that, man, great stuff. Johnny boy.
Yeah, no, that was all solid. I knew as soon as you asked that, Elias was going to say no, because we should learn by now. If you ask Elias a closed-ended question, that you're going to get the no. But I think the message to take from that is like the whole tone of this call can be very like assumptive. Like it's really just you're taking the lead. You're assuming that they're calling because they want to see a property, and then you're going from there. Like, you don't need to ask like, oh, is it, your tone can be very like, take charge, assume that they need your services, and carry out the call from that perspective. But, obviously, Kyle, like, keep up the good work, just keep doing what you're doing. And obviously, Elias is gonna be a little harder on you than everyone else, because it means you're doing something right.
Yeah, no, good stuff, man. Good stuff. And like I said, repetition is the mother of all skill. That's why we do this. Laura had asked to go next. So Laura, let's run through this. So John, on 3, 2, 1, let's roll.
All right, Laura, ring, ring.
Hi, this is Laura.
Hi, Laura, this is John from Zillow. I have Elias on the line. He'd like to see 123 Main Street in Oakland. Can I connect you?
Absolutely.
Okay, here you go. Ding.
Hello.
Hi, Elias. This is Laura Ingen with EXP Realty. How are you today?
I'm good.
Oh, great. Well, I understand you want to see the property for 123 Main Street. Is that right?
That's right.
Oh, great. So what is your availability? Today or tomorrow?
I have some time both days. Today would be after 2, and then tomorrow between 11 and 3.
Okay, good. So let me confirm with the seller about which dates are available for them. And while we're there, let me take a look at the properties that are in the same criteria. So let's do that. So we have an hour or two, and I send you and I get back to you within an hour. Is that okay with you?
I didn't understand that last part.
I'm gonna go check with the seller and then
Uh-huh.
get an availability with the seller if you can see the property, whether it's today or tomorrow, and then get back to you. And
Oh,
then
no,
while we're
yeah, the part after that.
yes, and while we are there, since we're gonna have a range of an hour, I'm gonna have a few properties that have the same criteria that we can take a look at it. Does that sound good to you?
I guess we can get back to you on that one, but let's just go see the 123 Main Street.
Okay, sounds good, no problem. Let me get back to you within an hour, and I'll get back to you and send you an email
And then
also
Laura,
as well.
for,
The follow up.
for that property, is this going to be like one of those hot homes and super competitive?
That's a great question. Why don't I let me do a research before I get to that point, and then once we meet, I can go over with you with that. Does that work for you?
Sure.
Okay. So thank you so much. Nice talking to you. I get back to you.
Okay.
So
All right.
I know I made a mistake there by saying this that sounds good to you, and because I'm driving, maybe that conversation didn't sound as perfect or rounded. So I know what I did wrong.
So Laura, it's all good. This is why we practice. But let's just go back from the start. The opening of the conversation, super warm. People are going to like your voice. I say this all the time, your accent. People are going to like it. It just sounds really smooth. But there was a point in the conversation where you said, it wasn't, you said check on the criteria and while we're there, but it wasn't clear that you were checking on the criteria to go show us other homes while we were in the neighborhood. But when I asked you again, then you made it clear. But that section of it, I got a little confused. I was like, well,
Gotcha.
I didn't know what. So remember, like clear, concise, this is what's going to happen while you are with me, so they know. But overall, Laura, obviously you've been coming to the trainings, you've been practicing, it shows. Those are my polishing points. John.
Yeah, same thing, Elias. The welcome was really warm. I think with the parties talking about where you confirm, you just kind of jam those two together too quickly. Like
yes,
you talked about
exactly.
the appointment and you went straight like it. So it was really jumbled the first time. And I think it was just, these calls aren't supernatural, so you're trying to make sure you fit certain things in. I think there was a few times, and this is feedback we give a lot, you can try to get rid of or really kind of minimize the, like, how does that sound, or is that okay with you? A lot of the times you can just leave that off and leave a pause. I think that the power of the pause and incorporating that more into your scripts is really powerful. Like when you answered the market question good, like we always want to, when someone asks a question that you're not really going to answer in that moment, you want to validate that question. You did a good, that's a great question. Let me do some research. It could have just been, that's a great question. Let me do some research and we'll talk about it at the property. Pause. Instead, that's a great question. Let me do some research. We'll talk about it at the property. How does that sound? Because when you add in that, how does that sound? Like it makes you sound a little uncertain about what you're saying. And then it could make the person on the other end of the phone a little uncertain about what you're saying. But if you just deliver it as a statement, like, I'm going to do some research and we'll talk about it later, then that's going to satisfy their answer. So I think you can get rid of, and even earlier on when it's like, I see that you'd like to see 123 Main Street. Is that right? I think that goes back to, we can, that's not necessarily a wrong thing to say, but in back to, being a little more assumptive with the calls, you can just say, I see you'd like to see 123 Main Street. When's a good time for you? Like it just flows a little bit better if you don't like need to confirm everything with them. If that makes sense.
No, that's a good point. I mean, I was so ready to say, how's it? I was going to say, well, this is what we're going to do. But then I cut up and then I just said the first word that it came on my mind. So, yeah, I understand that. So I know I need to work on that.
Yeah, but good stuff.
Your energy sounds good. I mean, you're somebody that, in a more natural setting, I'm sure that like someone's going to get off the phone and be excited to go and meet with you, because you come across as somebody that knows what they're doing and has good energy.
For sure. Good stuff, Laura. So we're going to go with one more on this call. I'm going to go to Jeff, the people's agent. He's hyped up right now. He's listening to his music. He's in a good mood. We've had a struggle with this too, Jeff, with how does that sound? Laura, let's put yourself on mute. How does this sound? Is that okay with you? And more amiable. That's really not your style, just communicating with you. So just keep that in mind. Let's run right through this. 3, 2, 1, Johnny boy.
All right, Jeff, ring, ring.
Hey, how you doing? This is Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, this is John with Zillow. I have Elias on the line. You'd like to see 123 Main Street in Oakland. Can I connect to you?
Of course.
All right, here you go. Ding.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Elias.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Jeff. I'm a real estate agent with EXP. We're a Zillow Premier partner. I see that you're looking at 123 Main Street in Oakland. When did you have time to see that?
I'm available today to go see it or tomorrow morning.
Okay, perfect. So today or tomorrow morning. So what I'm going to do is for you, I'm going to check with the seller, see what times we can come up with. And then I'll get back to you on a specific time. That's it.
Okay. All right.
All right, perfect. What we're also going to do, Elias, is we're going to go ahead and carve out an extra hour or so. That way we can see additional properties in the area that will meet your criteria.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Now, were there any other general questions?
No, I just wanted to see, is this house going to be super like competitive? Because my friends just wrote an offer. They said there was like 13 offers on the home. It sold for $100,000 over. Is this house going to sell for $100,000 over?
That's actually a really, really good question. Thank you for that. So with that information, what I'm going to do as your agent is I'm going to go ahead and do my research on the property in the area. And I'm going to make sure to bring that to us when we go ahead and meet at 123 Main Street. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Perfect. Perfect. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and confirm with the seller our appointment time, as well as put together that additional criteria. So I'll be seeing you soon. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Have a good day, Elias. It was a pleasure to speak with you.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. All right, man. So, hey, good stuff, man. You're getting better every single time. And what I had to tell Jeff last time is like, don't make it sound like you're too contrived. This needs to have a flow and have an energy about it. And I think that you did really, really good. I think that you opened up the conversation really well. When I asked you about there was a time there where you check the criteria and instead of saying, does that sound good? Like you normally would have said, how does that sound? You said, check the criteria. And there was like a pause, right?
Yeah.
You got to fill it in with like,
yeah,
you got to have it was a pause, but it felt like, well, where are we going from here? I'm like, I'm going to check some other homes in the area, make sure they fit your criteria. Here's what's next. I'm going to check with the seller availability and give you a call back within the next 10 minutes to confirm that those times are available. So looking forward to helping you, advocating for you. I'll be right back with those times, right? To like, let them know like there was a flow. It was just one point there where I was just like, the flow was a little off. And when I asked you a question about the market, you did that last time too. You're like, thank you for that. It's like, thank you for giving me something hard to answer. I appreciate you, Mr. Consumer, right? I don't know if you need to thank them for asking you about the market, right? I just don't think that's something to thank them for in that moment. So I kind of wanted to understand, why did you say thank you when I asked you about the market?
That goes back to my last sales job, like at In Shape. Like when we ever got a question, they were always like, oh yeah, like thank you for the question, like in a way of edifying and acknowledging that they asked you the question. But I can throw it out. I can see how that can.
And I love the thought behind it, right? And the premise behind it. But just do that. Like, you know what, Mr. Johnson, or you know what, Jeff, that's a really, really good question. You know what I'm going to do as your agent, right? I love that. I'm going to do some research because every home, every neighborhood is a little bit different. Then when I meet you, I'm going to be able to give you the details on the home, right? So that's it. So I love what's behind that. Eliminate that and just ask them or tell them, that's a really good question. Sounds like you have a good idea about the market. Here's what I'm going to do as your agent for you. So I love that part of it. So good stuff. Johnny boy.
Yeah, Elias covered it all, I think, but I really love seeing the progression from call to call, because I can see that you're like incorporating some of the feedback from last time and you know, just switching, like with you, a lot of it is your tone. Like you have a really powerful tone, but it can also kind of work against you in some ways. And I think you're definitely showing that you're like using that tone to deliver things in different ways so they come across a little more just differently and more purposeful. I don't like the thank you either. To me, it sounds a little too like call centery, but like Eli's saying, like you can come from a place of gratitude. Like that's a really good question, but I don't think you need to actually like thank them for that. It just sounds a little too like, you know, scripty, call centery. But overall, man, like good stuff. I think that there's a couple spots where it's because of the environment, and we know it's kind of, you know, everybody's hanging on what we say, and there's certain things I think it's hard to flow naturally because you're catching you're about to say something, and then you know you're not supposed to say that, you don't say it, and then it throws you off your rhythm because you know you just kind of tripped up, and then you have to get back in the flow. So I think that like if you can do good on these calls in this setting, everybody's going to do even better when you don't have 20 people looking at you and you're not trying to like check certain boxes. So I mean that's why we do this. But keep it up, man.
Yeah, and like I said, you guys, if you guys can do good in this environment, when you get a call, it's just you're gonna feel like, man, I just want to flow. I want to be natural. I want to ask them really good questions. I want to let them know that this is an experience with Jeff. I'm not answering a call in a call center and I'm going to be open one door. This is an experience. They're going to be your client. They're going to spend close to $1 million with you. Like I got you, right? And I think that that's who you are as a natural person. So try to get away from the old scripts that you've used in the past. Find your voice through this, man. Find your purpose through this, man. So good stuff. So John, should we hang on this path, or should we go into some follow-up calls?
Well, I think we have we really want to start doing some follow-up calls because people are getting so good at the first calls, but we have a couple people on here that we haven't heard from do the first call. So if anyone that hasn't ever done a call, I mean, Anna, we can put you on the spot, or if anyone that hasn't done one yet wants to go, I think let's go on this a little bit.
Cool. Anna, you ready?
I'll go.
Cool. 3, 2, 1.
It might be rough because like I would not have taken it this. I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah. So just, I mean, the main thing is just focus on setting the appointment, because all of the you know, learning more about their motivation and talking about explaining the PED and explaining certain things, that's going to come on a follow-up call, and we're going to start rehearsing those. This first call should really just be focused on getting the appointment and getting to that, you know, where you're going to follow up with them.
Okay.
All right. So no pressure at all. Let's run through it. 3, 2, 1.
All right, Anna, ring.
Hi, this is Anna.
Hi, Anna. This is John with Zillow. I have Elias on the line. He'd like to see 123 Main Street in Oakland. Can I connect you?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Here you go. Ding.
Hello?
Hi, Elias. This is Anna with EXP Realty. How are you doing today?
I'm well.
Awesome. Hey, I just spoke to Zillow and they told me that you are looking at 123 Main Street. Are you available to see that this afternoon?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So there's a lot of showings that we could sort through. So what's the best time that you are available?
4:30.
4:30. Okay. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to connect with the seller and just confirm that 4:30 is doable for them. And then also what I'd like to do is carve out maybe an extra hour to go view some other properties in the area that would fit your criteria. Okay. Would you like to meet earlier than 4:30 to fit that in, or do you want to go after the first showing at 4:30?
After the first showing's cool.
Okay. All right. So what I will do from here again is contact that seller, confirm that appointment. And then I will also send you over the other confirmations for the property addresses that we're going to see so that you can go ahead and take a sneak peek on those and maybe highlight your favorites or whatever. And I will get back to you within the hour, probably just with the confirmations that we need in order to get those showings aligned. Is that cool?
Cool.
All right. Any other questions that you have?
Yeah, I did have a question because we've been looking at homes. We have a friend that just moved to that area. You know, we know like people have been writing 100,000 over, 200,000 over. Like, do you think it's going to be that type of situation for this home?
Man, that's a really good question. And each house, each transaction is totally different. Neighborhood, amenities, whatever it might be. So let me do some homework on this particular ones and also the ones we're going to go see. I'll bring all of that for you to keep, and we can talk over what the situation is and what we think it might go for, and just kind of, go through that together. Is that good?
That's good.
All right. Then it's a plan. I will see you right now at 4:30. I'll double confirm that with you. And then I look forward to meeting you in person.
Awesome. Sounds really, really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Elias. Have a good day.
All right, for her first time ever doing this, you guys, I mean, huge round of applause. Obviously, she has some skill. She's been in sales a while. She's been on the phone. But what I felt was like, I don't know who did this. I think it was Jackie last week. Like, hi, like just like waving someone, hey, what's up? How are you? Like, that's how I felt. Like, hi, Anna, cool, yeah. You used a couple words that obviously you wouldn't think about this, but just the way that you communicate, like, yeah, good question, man, and cool, I'll see you later. It was like this professional, but yet I'm super laid back and I'm relatable. And I think that for your first call, it's one of the best first calls that I've seen. That was great. What I felt was nothing about it felt scripted. Nothing. I just felt like I was having a conversation with Anna, and like, you know what, that's a really, really good question. When you said really, I felt like, yeah, that is actually a good question. And then your answer about the market, it was really, really strong. So great job. That was absolutely wonderful. I'll turn it over to John.
Yeah, that was really good. Especially, that was good in general, especially for a first call and being new to the team and new to this whole program. The only thing, and nitpicking here, but I think it's important, is what if the property wasn't available between 3 and 5? Like, you only ask for 4:30. So what I would always get either a range, or if they give you a specific time and say like, okay, if 4:30 doesn't work, what's another time that might be good for you? Then that way, because if you had gone to the property and it wasn't available anywhere close to 4:30, you'd have to call back and then call them back again. And it's like, some people it's not a big deal. Some people might be annoyed that you're not just calling back to tell them the showing. So I would always try to get a range. And in that situation, like, if you ordered 4:30, I would just book something and I'd say, hey, like, 4:30 wasn't available. I got it at 5. Is there any chance, or 5:30? Is there any chance that works? But I think in the initial contact, getting multiple times that might work. Is something it should be like standard. But other than that, great job. Your tone is really good. Like it's very like disarming, and I think will make people comfortable. And in a situation where I think some people might have like guard up, like, oh, I'm talking to this real estate agent. The way that you communicate, I think will make people more comfortable kind of letting their guard down. So good job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think like that, just like putting yourself into like smile, loosen up a little bit. Hi guys, like that's just how I felt. So I think that that's a cool way. Like, I didn't feel like, hi, how are you? Like super, super regimented. I thought it was a really good call, but you led the call the entire way. So we're gonna go to Samantha next. She was chomping at the bit.
Just quick question on a note that you gave, John. So I've heard sort of 2 different iterations of people getting on and saying, hey, 3 to 5 p.m. How does that work for you? And then I've heard, what times work best for you? What should we lean on as far as our strategy for solidifying a time? Should we ask for a range, or should we throw out a time ourselves and then go from there?
Personally, like, I think that asking, it depends. Like, sometimes if I know that like my schedule is kind of tight the next few days or whatever, I'll throw out times like, hey, how does Thursday at 10 work, or Friday sometime in the afternoon? Then that way I'm kind of dictating. But if I know the next, my time is pretty open. My preference, I think, is to ask for a range. Like, hey, what's the best? It's you want to do what's easiest for them. So like, hey, what's the best time for you? But sometimes only, I think, to make the optimize my time and make sure that it's when I'm available. Like, if I know that I'm only available Thursday in the morning or Friday in the afternoon, I'll throw those times out. I don't know that there's a better way. I just think like having options, having a range is ideal. But that's a good question. I mean, I'd be curious if anyone else has opinions if one's better than the other.
I think alternate close and alternate, an alternate or choice close, like, does today or tomorrow work better for you, Patrick? Are you ideally wanting to go in the morning or the afternoon, right? So it's an alternate close, and so it gives them options. So I think asking it that way would probably be my recommendation. But
yeah, and I think for like sales in general, leaving it too open-ended, like rather than like, okay, let me know when's good for you. It's like asking for a specific, you have a higher chance of booking an appointment if you just give them an option to choose from rather than opening it up and making it, adding a whole nother layer of like, oh, well, when is it good for me this week? So like, back when, it's crazy that people aren't doing open houses. Like there's going to be a whole crop of agents that didn't do open houses, but when we have them, that's something we're going to train on a lot. And like trying to set appointments with people coming into your open house is huge. And with me, it was always like, not like, hey, do you have time this week? It's like, hey, can we meet, Monday afternoon after work or whatever. Like, so I think that generally speaking, limiting their options and having those alternates is probably better.
All right, Samantha, let's roll. 3, 2, 1.
All right, Samantha, ring, ring.
Hi, this is Samantha.
Hey, Samantha, this is John. I have Elias on the line. I'd like to see 123 Main Street in Oakland. Can I connect you?
Absolutely, thank you.
Here you go. Ding.
Hello.
Hi, Elias.
Hi.
Hi, Elias. This is Samantha with EXP Realty. How are you?
I'm well.
Good. I just got a call from Zillow saying you'd like to preview 123 Main Street, and I'm happy to open the door for you. What are some good times for you today or tomorrow to go preview?
I'm available today after 5 or tomorrow. I have the afternoon available.
Okay, great. Let me touch base with the agent and see what good showing times are between those times and get back to you. Also, we can go ahead and preview some other homes that are within that criteria if you would like.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I wanted to ask, like, I mean, how many offers do you think this house is going to get?
Honestly, every area and home is a little bit different. So let me touch base with the agent, see what the interest and traffic is looking like, and do a little research on the area, and we can talk about it at the property.
Okay. And then, do I need to bring my pre-approval, and can the kids come?
The kids can come. Pre-approval, we can talk about that at the property.
Okay. All right.
Sound good?
Yep.
Awesome. Let me touch base with the agent and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. So good stuff. And Samantha, obviously it's your first time. Samantha, without looking at your disc profile, where would you say your dominant personality lies? In a high D?
I haven't taken my disc profile test in a while, so honestly, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think just based on the way that you communicate, you are a very direct, you're a driver type personality. This is what's going to happen. Here's what we're going to do. And that's going to work really well for you, but also being able to know your audience and who's on the other line, right? Mm-hmm. If it's somebody and I had kids and you're like, well, great, good. And like, oh my God, like there's a moment there, not to go too far in the weeds, but to open up, you and Anna both did this. Oh, I just got a call from Zillow. No, like this is the call from Zillow. You didn't just get a call. This is the call, right? Okay. Hi. I understand that you're calling to see 123 Main Street. Wonderful. What day do you want to see it? And go right into it. And then we want to really remove from your vernacular checking with the agent. We don't want to put the onus on them. We want to make sure that we are the ones that are completely in control, right? I'm going to check with seller availability. That way we're not trying to say, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to call the agent. But overall, really good stuff. The market update, I thought that, or the market question, I felt that it was like really, really short. Bullet points I like, but I think that you could have done more of a velvet hammer in that sense. I think you have a hammer. I want you to wrap that with a little bit of velvet. So just a softer touch on that particular answer. But overall, I thought that was good. Go over to you, John.
Yeah, overall, definitely good, especially for the first call. I think Elias is right. Like, you're probably a D because it was very direct. Like, all right, let's set this appointment. You ask questions. Then when they ask questions, it was very much like, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
Well, I also was I screwed up, so then I got a little nervous.
No, totally. And that's like what I was saying earlier. Like, this is if you can do well in this environment, like it's going to be easier in real life because it's natural. And also if you say something, you're not going to think in your head like, oh, I just said that, I'm not supposed to, and that's going to throw you off. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter in terms of your flow if you say certain things when you're on the real phone. And the reason that you said agent a couple times, and the reason that like Elias said, we want people to feel like you're in control when you bring up other agents. And also, and I'm sure anyone that's worked online leads to any degree, there's a lot of people that think for some reason they're better off talking to the listing agent. You might be talking to someone that thinks you're the listing agent, and if you bring up another agent, then they're gonna like, you're gonna have to go down that whole thing. Whereas you get to the property and they find out that you're not the listing agent, that's a much easier, you're already there, you're in front of them. It's gonna be a lot easier to convince them, no, they need their own agent, not the listing agent, when you're in front of them at the property demonstrating value, than on, 30 seconds into the first time you're talking to them. And that's something on our flex team call, like, it's the experienced agents are like, okay, how do we handle these people that just want to talk to the listing agent? So we want to just completely eliminate that, because we don't want that to come. We want to.
I noticed that everybody says, let me touch base with the seller. And I was going to ask, okay, so that's clearly a strategy you guys use.
Yeah,
Got it.
totally. Yeah. And so what we're going to do for you guys as well, and I think it's good, I saw a post that Peter put, iron sharpens iron, and that's why we do this. And then that collective wisdom, right? What we're going to do is we're going to record. Well, obviously their direct connections are recorded, the people that are already on Zillow. We're going to house all of those, and then we can share those with you guys, so you can start listening to them, just like you do in the Best Calls channel on Slack, that we can hear exactly how we're handling these calls. And you can see, wow, okay, I heard it live. Now it all starts to make sense. So you guys, really, really good job. We're gonna end there. Looks like Ryan wants to go first. Go ahead, Samantha.
Just a question. I noticed everybody's saying EXP Realty and not Team Fast. Is that like a Zillow requirement or something?
It's not a
Or
requirement.
Fast Real Estate? I'm sorry.
John, you want to address that question?
Yeah, no, it's not necessarily a requirement, but I mean, anytime that because Team Fast, like, if you're going to say Team Fast, like,
Fast Real Estate, right?
Fast brokered by EXP Realty. So I think that, like, just from a conversational standpoint, like saying EXP Realty, it's going to cover you more. And I think the ideal introduction is when you include, we're a Zillow Premier partner. So like,
Okay.
hey, this is John with EXP Realty, we're a Zillow Premier partner.
Got
Then
it.
that way there's no confusion. And then it's like, okay, cool. Like, I know who I'm talking to. But I think that just from a like, not compliance necessarily, but I think saying, like, EXP Realty in these initial calls is probably better.
Yeah. So for next week, Tori, JJ, let's see who else hasn't gone. Anthony, Martha. We're gonna run through, make sure that you guys go first next time. Ryan actually asked to go first, so he's gonna go first next time. So people that haven't gone, we'll flip the script. But you guys, we appreciate you coming. Like I said, repetition is the mother of all skill. When you guys get on the phone, you're gonna be like, okay, like, all right, there's all this training makes sense. But what I've seen is progression. Everybody is getting better. And so I thank you. And I thank you for having the intestinal fortitude to stand up in front of your brothers and sisters and say, you know what, I'm going to do this. It might not be perfect. I might take some knocks on the chin, but this is how we're going to learn and how we're going to grow together. So you guys, we're only here to make sure that we help you. My goal is to make sure that we are wordsmiths, that when we're on a conversation with people, that we're not putting up hurdles every single time we're in a conversation. This is a free-flowing dialogue that has an end game in mind. The end game is me meeting you face-to-face to show you a house, buyer's consultation, everything that we do. So this is all about strategy, you guys. When you come to my script role play, it's the same style, right? When we have conversations, the questions that we're asking. So you guys, thank you for showing up and doing the work. And this is coming, and this is coming in a big way. So I'm glad that you guys are going to be ready. Kenny will come to us and be like, hey, is the next round ready? Absolutely, they're ready. They show up every single week. They're ready.
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, and to be totally honest, it's gonna get tougher. This next selection is gonna be a little bit tougher because we have more people that are probably ready than spots. But it'll just be another month. And again, like, we're just getting started in this program, so just keep doing what you're doing. And for the people that are on this call that have kind of got that first call down and have gone through it a couple of times, be ready next week to show us how you handle the follow-up call. So think about, a concise but clear way that you're going to explain the PED. Think about questions that you're going to ask to learn a little bit more about where they're at in their home buying journey. Just think about how you're going to run that second call, because for some of these people, this first call is automatic pretty much at this point. Not to say we don't like still running through it, because there's always room for improvement, but just think about those things, because we're going to be running through some of those. In addition to people that haven't gone yet, we're going to be doing that next week too.
Hey,
Yeah.
I can ask you guys a quick question. I see that you guys want us to do a or add a couple of extra showings while we have them there. My question is, to be honest with you, it's kind of like open-ended. You're guessing at what they're going to want. Can we ask them at the same time, what is it that you liked about this property that you want to go see it? That way I get a better idea as far as what you're looking for. Or
I don't think I mean, if they want to see a 3-bedroom, 2-bath and that's $800,000 in a certain neighborhood, I think just based on that alone, you can probably pick out 1 or 2 other ones. And if you
Okay.
show 3, 1.5, and you find out then that 2 bathrooms is an absolute deal.
Right.
I think
So you want to keep it more concise. I got you.
Yeah, I think showing that you're a resource and an expert and kind of picking a couple is better than asking them like we don't want people asking like, what is it you like about this home? Because that doesn't really get you a whole lot of information that's really helpful and kind of derail the conversation. I think just lean on your experience to pick out a couple based on the one that they want to see that you're going to try to add.
Yeah, I think too, it's like, oh, we saw this one in Maxwell Park. Well, I lined up another one. It's actually in the Frick. It's not too far away. We're going to go see this. So it's like them making this experience with JJ and you being that area expert. So, stuff you guys.
Patrick just asked if there's a general framework available for the follow-up call to study for the next training. There's not really, but if you just think about like if you look at the playbook, I dropped the link in the chat. It's ALMS, so it's appointment, location, motivation survey. We're really making this first call about like appointment and location. So in the second call, there's obviously going to be like logistical things like, hey, who else is coming with you? I need to get their full name and email for this form we need to send out, and like finding more about their motivation, like what's their timeline, are they pre-approved, those things, but doing it in a way where like we really, and this is something we talk about with the people that have been on Flex for weeks, like we want to learn a little bit more information that's going to make us be able to deliver a more valuable experience when we're at the property, but we don't want to like overqualify them to the point where we talk them out of wanting to go see it and we don't set the appointment. So really just finding some motivation and learning enough to where you can equip yourself to have a good first appointment. And then when it comes to the survey, that's something that we haven't really talked about on this, but Zillow sends a survey 24 hours after your first contact. And we want people to make sure that they acknowledge at some point in the first 24 hours, like, hey, Zillow's gonna be sending you a customer satisfaction survey. My goal is to meet or exceed your expectations. I hope I've been doing that so far. We don't want people asking for good survey results. We like, hey, do me a favor and give me 5 stars. We don't want any of that, but we want people to acknowledge the survey. Like give people a heads up it's coming and acknowledge it, but really wait until you've delivered some value, not just like, okay, great, you want to see that at 4:30? Okay, awesome, I'll check with the seller. Hey, you're gonna get this survey, please give me 5 stars. Like that doesn't, it's the second call is gonna get, there's a lot more moving parts to it, but.
And real quick, so I just want to clarify where in the timeline the follow-up call exists. Is this after you've already seen the properties from the first?
It's also
or this is after you check the seller's availability, call them back and say, okay.
Call them back like, hey, Elias, great news. 123 Main Street's available at 4:30 tomorrow. So I'll see you there. But before I can finalize everything, I just need a little bit more information from you.
Copy that. Cool.
Juanita, you got a question?
No, they already asked. It's being answered. Thank you.
And tip for those people that are going to be doing the follow-up calls, the line that Zillow likes to hear and the kind of best practice is something along the lines of like where instead of and this can replace are you pre-approved, because you'll get it out of asking the same question. But what we really like to hear and what's been working for me is where are you at in the home buying journey, or like how's your home search going, something that'll really be like more open-ended than like are you pre-approved, because if you're going to be able to figure out from their answer and where they're at in the home buying journey if they're pre-approved or not. You're also going to be able to figure out if they're like already working with another agent. So that question is gold, because it really opens up a lot of doors to get you information that you need.
All right. So
Do you substitute process for journey?
Yeah, whatever's
I
natural.
mean, I don't know that I could pull journey, to be quite honest with you, with a straight face. I think I can do process.
Yeah.
wait, what's the question? Sorry.
Yeah.
I said, can we replace process with journey? I don't know that I could pull off journey with a straight face. It sounds too whimsical.
Journey,
for me, I'm not saying for everybody, just for me.
Yeah, I mean, whatever word, journey, process,
Yeah, and for me, I like I like Journey because it's a little process makes it seem like it's a little more straightforward. You're going on a car lot, you're picking one you like, you're getting pre-approved, you're driving off. Buying a home is like, you don't even, these people might not even, are not even sure where they want to live. They might not be sure that they want to even move. It's like, there's more emotion to buying a home. And I think something like Journey is more accurate reflection of what the process is actually like. Whereas process, I think like, there's nothing wrong with process. I just think Journey resonates better with what it really is like.
You're right. I'm just a salty old man.
All right, guys. Hey, great job. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for showing up in a big way. And we will see you guys next week. If you need anything, let us know. Have a great day.
Hey, Elias, hang on for a second.
Okay. All right.
Bye, everybody. Have a good week. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great
Do
day.
these recordings go into Slack?
I could put it in Slack. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, brother. Let me stop the recording.
Hey, good job, Jeff. Keep it up, man.
Appreciate that.